please! Obina, please! I'm carrying your babies!" Neka's scream tore through the Enugu hillside as her husband's hands closed around her shoulders, shoving her toward the cliff edge. "That's exactly why you have to go." His voice was cold, mechanical, like he was discussing a business transaction, not the murder of his pregnant wife. "Those babies complicate everything. Ngozi can give me legitimate heirs, clean ones, not from a barren woman who finally got lucky." "Barren?" Neka's back pressed against empty air, her heels at the very edge of the precipice. 300 feet of nothing behind her. Rocks and river below. "I'm 6 months pregnant with twins! How can you call me—" "Accidents happen." Obina's handsome face, the face she'd loved for 5 years, kissed 1,000 times, trusted completely, twisted into something monstrous. Pregnant women lose their balance. Tragic. Everyone will understand. Everyone will comfort the grieving widower. "You planned this." Horror crashed over her worse than any fall could. "The weekend trip. The romantic hike. You brought me here to kill me." "I brought you here to solve a problem." He glanced over her shoulder at the drop. "Ngozi is 3 months pregnant. We can't wait any longer. The timeline has to make sense." Neka's hand instinctively covered her swollen belly. Inside, her twins kicked, alive, innocent, about to die because their father wanted a different woman's children instead. "I'll divorce you," she gasped. "I'll disappear. Just let me live. Let them live." "And give you ammunition? Let you take half my money in court? Let you raise my bastards to come after my legitimate children someday?" Obina shook his head. "No, this is cleaner." He pushed. Neka's scream followed her down into the abyss. Welcome to Stories by Tino, where we bring you the most gripping African family dramas that will leave you breathless. Today's story is about betrayal at its darkest, survival against impossible odds, and revenge served ice cold after 9 long years of patience. Thank you for joining us. Your support means everything. Every like, every comment, every share helps these powerful stories reach more people. Before we continue, drop a comment telling us where you're watching from. Are you in the US, UK, Nigeria, Jamaica, Canada? We love hearing from our global family. Now, let's dive into Neka's story. A story of a woman who was supposed to die but refused to stay dead. 9 years ago. The fall lasted forever and no time at all. Neka's body tumbled through empty air, spinning, her mind screaming, but her voice lost to the wind. The cliff face blurred past. Rock, vegetation, more rock. Then impact. Not the crushing finality of stone, but the shocking cold of water. The Udi River. She plunged deep, the current immediately seizing her, dragging her downstream away from the cliff base where Obina would be watching, confirming her death. Her lungs burned, her babies kicked frantically inside her, everything hurt. But she was alive. Neka broke the surface, gasping, choking, already being swept away by the current. She caught a glimpse of the cliff top, impossibly high, impossibly far, but couldn't see Obina, couldn't see anything but water and sky and pain. She tried to swim, but her body wouldn't cooperate. Something was broken. Ribs, maybe. Her left arm hung useless. Blood clouded the water around her. "Hold on, babies," she whispered through cracked lips. "Hold on. Mama's got you." The current carried her for what felt like hours. Sometimes she was conscious, sometimes not. The world became fragments. Sky, water, pain, darkness, repeat. Until hands grabbed her. "Chineke, this woman is alive. Help me pull her out." Fishermen. 3 of them in a small boat, checking their nets downstream. They hauled her aboard like a caught fish, her pregnant belly unmistakable even through her soaked, torn clothing. "She's bleeding badly," one said. "And pregnant. We need to get her to the clinic. Now." But Neka grabbed the nearest man's wrist with her good hand, surprising strength in her grip. "No clinic, no hospital, no police." "Sister, you need medical attention? My husband pushed me off that cliff." Her voice was raw, broken. If he knows I survived, he'll finish the job. Please, I'm begging you, help me disappear." The three men exchanged glances. In Nigeria, everyone knew stories like this. Wealthy men disposing of inconvenient wives, police who looked the other way, justice that could be bought. The oldest fisherman, his face weathered and kind, nodded slowly. "My sister is a midwife, 3 villages over. She'll help you. But after that, you're on your own. We can't be involved in this kind of trouble." "I understand. Thank you. Thank you." They took her to a small concrete house where a woman named Mama Jeed, round, capable, unshockable, cleaned her wounds, wrapped her ribs, set her arm, and examined her pregnancy with expert hands. "Twins," she confirmed. "Both still alive. Strong heartbeats. You're lucky, sister. Very lucky." Lucky. Nneka almost laughed. Her husband had just murdered her. She'd fallen 300 feet. She'd nearly drowned. She had nothing. No money, no documents, no home, no family who'd believe her story. But her babies were alive. Maybe that was enough. Mama Jeed let her stay. Weeks became months. Nneka healed slowly, her body knitting itself back together through sheer stubborn will. And at 7 months, 1 month premature but strong, so strong, she gave birth to twins, a boy and a girl. She named them Zipporah and Adana. Show your strength and father's daughter, because they would need strength, and because their father would never know his daughter existed. "What will you do now?" Mama Jeed asked when Nneka was strong enough to walk, to plan, to think beyond survival. "I don't know." Nneka held her sleeping twins, one in each arm. So small, so perfect, so completely dependent on her. "I have nothing. No identity. Obinna will have declared me dead by now. No money, no skills beyond being a housewife. How do I build a life from nothing?" "The same way you survived that fall, Nan. One breath at a time." 9 years of transformation. It started with Mama Jeed's sister in Abuja, who needed a house girl. Nneka took the job, cleaning, cooking, caring for children, while her own twins stayed with Mama Jeed back in the village. She saved every naira. Then a friend of the employer needed help with bookkeeping. Nneka had been good with numbers once, back when she'd helped Obinna with his early business ventures before he'd decided wives should be decorative, not useful. She learned computers at a library, taught herself accounting software, got a job at a small firm, saved every naira, met a Lebanese businessman who needed someone to manage his property portfolio, someone smart, hungry, willing to work twice as hard as anyone else. She learned real estate from the ground up, learned how to spot value, negotiate deals, read people, play the game, saved every naira. After 3 years, she had enough to buy her first property, a rundown flat in a decent area. She renovated it herself, sold it for double, bought 2 more, then 5, then 10. She became Kioma Okafor, an identity she'd purchased from a woman who died childless, whose family needed money for burial. New name, new documents, new life. By year 5, she owned a property management company. By year 7, she was developing entire housing estates. By year 9, she was a millionaire several times over. CEO of Okafor Properties Limited. A mystery woman in Abuja real estate circles. Where did she come from? How did she rise so fast? Who was she really? No one knew, and she wanted it that way. Until she was ready, until she was powerful enough, until her children were old enough to understand, until she could return to Lagos and destroy the man who'd tried to kill them all. Nneka stood in her Abuja penthouse, looking at her reflection in the floor-to-ceiling windows, 37 years old now, nothing like the soft, naive 28-year-old who died on that cliff. Her body was lean, hard from years of yoga and running, her face more angular, sharpened by hunger and rage and determination. Her hair cut short and natural instead of the long weave Obinna had preferred. Her style severe, powerful. Tailored suits and sharp heels, not the soft feminine dresses he'd chosen for her. She looked like a completely different person. She was a completely different person. "Mama?" Zikora appeared in the doorway. 9 years old, tall for his age, with his father's sharp features, but his mother's kind eyes. "Are we really going to Lagos?" Beside him, Adana, his twin, petite and fierce, all fire where her brother was thoughtful. "Are we going to see him? Our father?" Neka turned from the window. Her children, her miracles, the reason she'd survived. "Yes," she said quietly. "We're going to see him." "Will you tell him who you are?" Zikora asked. "Eventually. But first, I'm going to take everything he has. Everything he stole from us. Everything he built on the lie of my death." She knelt to their level. "Do you understand what we're about to do? It won't be easy. It might be scary. You'll have to pretend, to lie, to watch me hurt the man who's technically your father." "He's not our father," Adana said fiercely. "Fathers don't push their wives off cliffs. Fathers don't try to murder their babies. He's just a bad man who happens to be related to us." "He tried to kill us," Zikora added, quieter but no less certain. "Before we were even born. He doesn't get to be called our father." Neka pulled them both into her arms. "I love you both so much. This is going to be hard, but we're going to do it together, and when it's over, he'll never hurt anyone again." "When do we leave?" Adana asked. "Tomorrow." Neka smiled, and it was not a kind smile. "I've already purchased the building next to his office, already infiltrated his social circles through shell companies, already positioned everything perfectly." She stood, looking out at the Abuja skyline. "Tomorrow, Kioma Okafor arrives in Lagos, a mysterious investor interested in partnering with Obina Ezike's construction company." "And he won't recognize you?" Zikora asked. "Not a chance." Neka touched her short hair, her changed face, her transformed body. "The woman he killed was soft, dependent, desperate for his love. The woman he's about to meet is hard, independent, and very, very dangerous." "What about her?" Adana's voice went cold. "The woman who took your place. His new wife." "Ngozi." Neka's smile sharpened. "Oh, I have special plans for Ngozi. She knew, you see. I did some investigating. She knew he was going to kill me. She helped him plan it, made sure I went on that romantic weekend. Even suggested the hiking trail." "She helped murder you?" Zikora's voice cracked with rage. "She tried." Neka's voice was steel. "But I'm very hard to kill. And now she's about to discover that the dead don't always stay buried." She pulled out her phone and made a call. "Mr. Ezike's office? Yes, this is Kioma Okafor, CEO of Okafor Properties. I'm calling to confirm our meeting tomorrow afternoon, 2 p.m.? Perfect. Yes, I'm very interested in discussing a potential partnership. The Lekki development project sounds fascinating." She paused, listening. "Oh, he's looking forward to meeting me? How lovely. Please tell him the feeling is mutual. I've been wanting to meet Obina Ezike for a very, very long time." She hung up. "Tomorrow," it began. 9 years of planning. 9 years of building power. 9 years of becoming strong enough to face the man who'd tried to erase her. Tomorrow, the dead would rise, and Obina Ezike would learn that some ghosts don't just haunt, they destroy. What do you think Neka should do first when she meets Obina? Should she play it cool or give him a hint of who she really is? Drop your predictions in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. The Ezike Construction Company headquarters stood on Victoria Island like a monument to stolen success. Neka, now Kioma Okafor, sat in the back of her Mercedes, staring up at the gleaming 15-story building. Her building. Because she'd owned the land it sat on through a shell company, then sold it to Obina at a steep discount 9 years ago when he was grieving and expanding his business on his dead wife's insurance money. He had no idea he'd been paying her rent for years. "Mama, are you ready?" Zikora asked from the seat beside her. He and Adana had insisted on coming, wanted to see the man who'd tried to murder them, even if they had to wait in the car. I'm ready. Neka checked her reflection in the compact mirror. Flawless makeup, designer suit, diamond earrings. She looked like money, power, success. Nothing like the woman who'd begged for her life on a cliff 9 years ago. Remember, Adana said fiercely, you're stronger than him now, richer, more powerful. He's nothing. He's less than nothing, Neka corrected softly. He's a dead man, walking. He just doesn't know it yet. She stepped out of the car into the Lagos heat, her heels clicking on pavement with the confidence of a woman who owned the world. The lobby was all marble and glass, Obina's corporate logo everywhere, a rising sun symbolizing new beginnings. The irony made her want to laugh. His new beginning had required her death. Miss Okafor? A young receptionist approached, practically glowing with the importance of greeting a wealthy visitor. Mr. Ezike is expecting you. Top floor, corner office. Would you like me to escort you? I can find my way. Neka's voice was smooth, cultured, nothing like the soft, uncertain tone she'd used as Obina's wife. 9 years of commanding boardrooms had changed everything about her. The elevator rose swiftly. Neka watched the floor numbers climb, her heart rate staying perfectly calm despite what was coming. She'd imagined this moment 1,000 times, planned it, rehearsed it, knew exactly how it would unfold. The elevator doors opened to reveal an executive floor, expensive carpet, original artwork, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Victoria Island and the Atlantic beyond. And there, walking toward her with hand extended and politician's smile firmly in place, was Obina Ezike. He'd aged. 44 now, his temples graying, his waistline thicker from years of good living on blood money. But still handsome in that polished, powerful way. Still the kind of man who made waiters nervous and subordinates scramble. Still a murderer. Ms. Okafor! His voice boomed with false warmth. What a pleasure to finally meet you in person. Your reputation precedes you. Abuja's mystery mogul, they call you. The woman who came from nowhere and conquered real estate in 5 years. 7 years, actually. Neka shook his hand, her grip firm, professional, looking directly into the eyes of the man who'd pushed her off a cliff, feeling nothing. No fear, no love, not even hate, just cold calculation. But who's counting? He laughed, ushering her toward his office. Please, come in. Can I offer you something? Coffee? Wine? We have an excellent South African vintage. Water is fine. His office was obscene. Huge mahogany desk, leather chairs, original paintings worth more than most people earned in a lifetime. Awards and photos on the walls. Obina with governors, senators, business leaders. Obina cutting ribbons at building inaugurations. Obina accepting Businessman of the Year awards. And there, on the credenza behind his desk, a photo that made Neka's carefully controlled expression nearly crack. A family portrait. Obina with Ngozi, beautiful, smiling, dripping in jewelry, and 3 children. 3. The oldest looked about 8, a girl with Ngozi's features. Neka's mental arithmetic was instant, conceived before the cliff, which meant Ngozi had been pregnant when she'd helped plan Neka's murder. Had smiled in her face, knowing she was going to die. Beautiful family, Neka said, her voice perfectly neutral, as she accepted a bottle of water from Obina's assistant. Thank you. Obina's smile turned softer, more genuine than anything he'd ever given Neka when they were married. My wife Ngozi and our 3 children. They're my world. 3 children. He'd killed Neka's twins to make room for Ngozi's children. Except the twins hadn't died. They were alive, brilliant, and currently waiting in her car downstairs. How long have you been married? Neka asked, settling into a chair across from his desk. 9 years this November. Met her when I was going through a difficult time. Lost my first wife tragically. Hiking accident. He said it so smoothly, like he'd told the lie 1,000 times until even he believed it. Ngozi helped me heal, gave me a reason to live again. Neka took a sip of water to hide her expression. So that was the story. Tragic accident. Grieving widower. New love healing his broken heart. Not murder, not conspiracy, not stealing a dead woman's insurance money to expand his business and marry his pregnant mistress. "I'm sorry for your loss," she said, the words tasting like poison. "It was a long time ago." Obinna waved it away, already moving on to business. "But enough about the past. Let's talk about the future. Your Abuja portfolio is impressive. 12 housing estates, all high-end, all sold out before completion. I want to bring that magic to Lagos." "What makes you think I want to partner with you specifically?" Nneka leaned back, crossing her legs, watching him with the predatory calm of a lioness studying prey. "I've had offers from 6 other construction firms. Why should I choose Izike Construction?" "Because I'm the best." No false modesty, just arrogant certainty. "I've been building in Lagos for 15 years. I know every politician, every supplier, every shortcut. With my connections and your capital, we could dominate the luxury market." "Connections." Nneka smiled slightly. "Interesting word. I assume you mean bribes, insider deals, and cutting corners on safety regulations?" Obinna's smile didn't falter, but his eyes sharpened. "I mean navigating the Nigerian business environment efficiently. Surely you've had to do the same in Abuja?" "Of course, but I'm curious. Have you ever had a project collapse? Injuries? Deaths?" "Every construction company has accidents. The Surulere building, 3 years ago. Collapsed during construction. 12 workers died." Nneka's voice stayed perfectly pleasant while delivering the blow. "Investigation found you'd used substandard materials and bribed the safety inspector to look away." Obinna's face went cold. "Those charges were dismissed. No evidence. Because you paid the judge, 3 million naira, if my sources are correct." Nneka tilted her head. "I'm very thorough in researching potential partners, Mr. Ezek. I know everything about you." Everything. The word hung between them, heavy with meaning she wasn't quite ready to reveal. Obinna stood, moving to the window, his back to her. Tension radiated from his shoulders. "If you're here to accuse me of something, Ms. Okafor, perhaps we're wasting each other's time. I'm here because you have something I want." Nneka stood as well, joining him at the window. "The Lekki Coastal Development, 500 acres of premium beachfront property. You own it. I want to develop it. That land isn't for sale. Everything is for sale at the right price." She looked at his reflection in the glass. So close. The man who'd murdered her, standing inches away, completely oblivious. "I'm offering you a partnership, 70-30 split, my capital, your land and connections." 70 to me? 70 to me. Her smile was sharp. "I'm bringing the real money. You're bringing dirt and bribes." His face flushed with anger. Good. She wanted him angry. Wanted him to underestimate her, dismiss her as another arrogant Abuja nouveau riche he could manipulate. "That's insulting." "That's business." Nneka turned to face him directly. "You're overextended, Mr. Ezek. I've seen your books. Don't look surprised. There's very little I can't access. You took out loans to finance the Aja project. It's running over budget. You need capital or you'll default in 6 months. His jaw clenched. "You've been spying on me." "I've been doing due diligence. There's a difference." She walked back to her chair, sat down, crossed her legs. Every movement deliberate, controlled, radiating power. "Here's my offer. I inject 50 million naira into your company today. We become partners on the Lekki development. 70-30 split in my favor. I also get seats on your board and full transparency on all projects." "You want to control my company?" "I want to save your company. Without me, you're bankrupt by Christmas. With me, you're building the most exclusive resort community in West Africa." She paused. "Unless your pride is worth more than your survival?" Obinna stared at her for a long moment. She could see the calculation in his eyes, the anger warring with desperation, the humiliation of being cornered by a woman battling the knowledge that she was right. "I need to think about it," he said finally. "You have 24 hours. Nneka stood, gathering her purse. "After that, I take my offer to the Adebayo Corporation. I hear they're also interested in Lekki beachfront." She was almost to the door when Obinna spoke again. Ms. Okafor, have we met before? There's something familiar about you. Neka's heart rate spiked for the first time, but her expression stayed perfectly calm as she turned back. I don't think so. I would remember meeting you. Your voice. Something about it. He shook his head, frustrated. No. I'm being ridiculous. You just remind me of someone. People say I have one of those faces. Neka smiled. Generic. Forgettable. You're anything but forgettable. His tone shifted, became almost flirtatious. Perhaps we could discuss this further over dinner? Tonight? I know an excellent restaurant in Ikoyi. Neka's stomach turned. He was hitting on her. The man who'd murdered his pregnant wife was now trying to seduce her replacement, while his second wife was at home with their children. Some men never changed. I don't mix business with pleasure, Mr. Ezek, and I'm sure your wife wouldn't appreciate that suggestion. She let ice creep into her voice. I'll expect your answer by tomorrow at 2 p.m. Good afternoon. She walked out, spine straight, heels clicking with authority, not allowing herself to react until she was back in the elevator. Then her hands shook, not with fear, with rage. He'd looked her in the eyes, the woman he'd murdered, and felt nothing, no recognition, no guilt, no remorse, just saw an opportunity, a new woman to charm, to use, to eventually discard. The elevator doors opened to the lobby. Neka walked out into the sunlight, climbed into her Mercedes where her children waited. How did it go? Zikora asked immediately. He doesn't recognize me. Neka's voice was hollow. I stood 5 feet away from him and he didn't know me. Good, Adana said fiercely. That means the plan works. He tried to ask me to dinner. Both children went still. He hit on you? Zikora's voice cracked with disgust. While his wife is... He's exactly who we thought he was, Neka cut him off. A man who thinks women are disposable, interchangeable, tools to be used and discarded. She looked at her children. Are you both still sure you want to do this? It's going to get uglier. We're sure, they said in unison. Neka's phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Ms. Okafor, this is Ngozi Ezike. My husband mentioned you visited today. I'd love to meet you. Coffee tomorrow morning? 10 a.m. at the Wheat Baker? Women in business should support each other. Neka stared at the message. Ngozi, the woman who'd helped plan her murder. The woman who'd stolen her life, her husband, her home. The woman who'd smiled at her funeral while pregnant with the child that replaced Neka's murdered twins. She was inviting her to coffee. What is it? Adana leaned over to look at the phone. Her face went pale. That's her. The other woman. She wants to meet me. Neka's smile was cold. She thinks we're going to be friends. Women in business supporting each other. Are you going to tell her who you are? Zikora asked. Eventually, but first, Neka typed a reply. Tomorrow at 10 sounds perfect. Looking forward to it. She hit send. First, I'm going to let her like me, trust me, confide in me, maybe even warn me about her philandering husband. Neka's voice was steel wrapped in silk. And then when she's completely comfortable, when she thinks she's found a friend, I'm going to tell her exactly who I am, and I'm going to watch her world burn. Her phone rang. Obina's office number. She answered. Ms. Okafor speaking. Kioma, may I call you Kioma? Obina's voice was smooth. He'd made his decision. I've reconsidered your offer. Let's make this partnership happen. But I'd like to negotiate the terms. 60-40? 70-30 is my only offer. Then I accept. He sounded like it physically hurt him. When can we finalize the paperwork? My lawyers will contact yours tomorrow. I want full audits, transparent books, and quarterly reviews. This partnership works on my terms or not at all. Understood. Kioma, I have a feeling this is the beginning of something very profitable. Oh, it is, Neka said softly. You have no idea how profitable this is going to be. For me... She hung up. Zikora and Adana stared at her. You're in, Zikora whispered. You're actually in. Inside his company. Inside his business. Soon I'll be inside his social circle, his home, his life. Neka looked out the window at Victoria Island traffic, the city where she'd been married, where she'd been happy, where she'd died. And once I'm completely embedded, once I control everything he has, once he's dependent on me, you destroy him, Adana finished. Completely. Neka's smile was not kind. By the time I'm done, he'll lose his business, his reputation, his freedom. He'll know exactly who I am and exactly what he lost when he pushed me off that cliff. He'll know his children, the ones he kept, are strangers to him, while the children he tried to murder are brilliant, successful, and utterly beyond his reach. And her? Zecora asked. Ngozi? She gets to watch it all happen. Watch me take everything she thought was hers. Watch her husband destroyed by the ghost of the woman she helped kill. Neka started the car. Tomorrow, I have coffee with my murderer's wife. Let's see if she recognizes the woman she watched die. As they pulled away from Ezike Construction Headquarters, Neka glanced in the rearview mirror at the building shrinking behind them. Phase 1 complete. Infiltration successful. Phase 2 beginning. Befriend the enemy. Phase 3 coming soon. Total annihilation. Obinna Ezike had 9 years to live in peace, built on the lie of her death. Those 9 years were over. The reckoning had begun. What do you think will happen when Neka meets Ngozi face to face? Will Ngozi recognize her? Should Neka drop hints or play it completely cool? Drop your predictions in the comments. And subscribe, because next chapter is going to be explosive. The truth comes out and everything burns. You won't want to miss it. The Wheatbaker Hotel lounge was elegant, expensive, and exactly the kind of place where Lagos's wealthy women met to gossip over overpriced coffee. Neka, still Kioma to everyone who mattered, arrived exactly on time. She wore a soft pink blouse and cream trousers, deliberately choosing colors the old Neka used to love. A test. A private joke. Let's see if the woman who helped murder me even remembers what I looked like. Ngozi was already seated at a corner table, and Neka's breath caught despite 9 years of preparation. She was beautiful. 34 now, polished to perfection in designer everything. Hermes bag, Cartier jewelry, that glow of a woman who'd never struggled a day in her life. Her children probably had nannies. Her house probably had staff. Her biggest problem was probably choosing which luxury car to drive. All of it built on Neka's grave. Kioma! Ngozi stood, air-kissing both cheeks in that fake Lagos society way. I'm so glad you could make it. I've heard so much about you. All good things, I hope. Neka settled into her chair, accepting coffee from a hovering waiter. Mysterious things. Ngozi's smile was calculating. You appeared in Abuja 7 years ago. No family history, no social connections, just suddenly successful. People are curious. People should mind their business. Neka's tone stayed light, but her message was clear. Touché. Ngozi laughed. I like you already. Most women are intimidated by me. Should I be intimidated? Most definitely. I'm married to the most powerful man in Lagos real estate. I control the social calendar of everyone who matters. I can make or break reputations with a single lunch invitation. Ngozi sipped her cappuccino. But you don't seem like someone who scares easily. I'm not. Neka met her eyes directly. I've survived worse things than social exclusion. Something flickered in Ngozi's expression. Interest? Suspicion? Hard to tell. Obinna told me about your partnership. 70-30 in your favor. I have to admit, I'm impressed. My husband doesn't usually let anyone have that much control. Your husband is drowning in debt and knows I'm his only lifeline. Neka's voice was matter-of-fact. This isn't about what he wants. It's about what he needs. Ruthless. I like it. Ngozi leaned forward conspiratorially. Can I be honest with you? Woman to woman? Please. I'm glad you're partnering with him. Obinna has been distracted lately. Sloppy with his business decisions. He needs someone sharp to keep him in line. She paused. He also needs someone who won't sleep with him. Neka's eyebrows rose. Excuse me? Oh, don't look so shocked. You're beautiful, successful, and mysterious. Exactly his type. He probably already made a pass at you. He suggested dinner. Of course he did. Ngozi's laugh was bitter. My husband thinks his charm works on everyone, that any woman would be honored to warm his bed. But not you, Nneka asked carefully. You're his wife. I'm his second wife. There's a difference. Ngozi's mask slipped slightly. His first wife, Nneka, she was the love of his life. Dead 9 years and he still keeps her photos in his private office. Still visits her grave every year on the anniversary. Still... She stopped, looking away. Nneka's hands tightened on her coffee cup. He visits my grave? I'm sorry, she said quietly. That must be difficult. It's pathetic. Ngozi's voice turned hard. She's dead. I'm alive. I gave him 3 children. I run his household. I smile at his business dinners and pretend not to notice when he flirts with other women. And still, I'm competing with a ghost. How did she die? Nneka forced the words out. Your husband said hiking accident? That's the official story. Ngozi's eyes went cold. The truth is more complicated. Nneka's heart stopped. What truth? She was pregnant. Twins, 6 months along. Ngozi's voice dropped to barely a whisper. They were hiking in Enugu. She fell off a cliff, 300 feet. Her body was never recovered. The river took it. They only found her scarf and 1 shoe. That's horrible. It's convenient. Ngozi looked directly at her. You want to know what I think? What I've never told anyone? What? I think she jumped. The words hit Nneka like a physical blow. Why would you think that? She managed. Because I knew her. Before. Ngozi's confession came faster now, like poison she'd been holding in too long. I was Obina's secretary. Nneka would visit the office sometimes, bring him lunch, play the dutiful wife. But I saw through it. She was weak, needy, desperate for his approval. When she finally got pregnant after years of trying, she became unbearable, clingy, emotional, calling him 20 times a day. Nneka remembered those days differently, remembered being happy, excited, wanting to share every moment of her miracle pregnancy with the husband she loved. Apparently, he'd found it annoying. Obina told me he was planning to divorce her after the babies came, Ngozi continued, that he'd fallen in love with me, that we'd be together. She laughed bitterly. I was pregnant too, 3 months. We were going to tell Nneka after her delivery, let her have the twins, then take them in the divorce, clean break. But she died first. She died first. Ngozi's eyes were distant. Part of me wonders if she knew, if she figured it out somehow, realized her husband was leaving her, that I was carrying his child too, that everything she'd built her identity around was crumbling, so she jumped. And you got everything, Nneka said softly. I got everything. Ngozi looked at her hands, at her massive diamond wedding ring. His name, his house, his bed, his children. Well, mine and his, plus 2 more we had together. I got the life she died trying to keep. Do you feel guilty? The question hung between them. Ngozi was quiet for a long moment. Then, no. Should I? I didn't push her. I didn't kill her. She made a choice. A stupid, selfish choice that left 2 babies dead and gave me everything I wanted. Nneka's vision went red. She made a choice. 2 babies dead, gave me everything I wanted. It took every ounce of control not to reach across the table and strangle this woman. Not to scream the truth. I didn't jump. You helped him plan my murder. My babies didn't die. I'm right here. But not yet. Not until everything was in place. That's quite a story, Nneka said, her voice remarkably steady. I've never told anyone before. Ngozi looked surprised at herself. There's something about you. You're easy to talk to. Like I can tell you anything. You can. Nneka smiled. We're friends now, aren't we? Women in business should support each other. I'd like that. Ngozi's smile was genuine. Lagos can be lonely when you're at the top. People either fear you or want something from you. It's rare to meet someone who's actually real. If only you knew how real. They talked for another hour. Ngozi shared gossip about Lagos society, complaints about her marriage, worries about her children. Nneka listened, filed away information, and planned. When they finally parted with promises to have lunch again soon, Nneka sat alone in her car and let herself shake. She made a choice. 2 babies dead. The rage was overwhelming. Her phone buzzed. Zipporah. Mama, are you okay? You've been gone for 3 hours. I'm fine, coming home now. Tell your sister we accelerate the timeline. I can't wait anymore. She needs to suffer now. She drove back to her temporary Lagos residence, a penthouse in Ikoyi naturally, where her children waited. What happened? Adana asked the moment Nneka walked in. She thinks I jumped. Thinks I killed myself and you two because I couldn't handle losing him. Nneka's voice was ice. She feels no guilt, no remorse. She's glad I died because it gave her everything. Then we destroy her, Zipporah said simply. Not just her. Both of them. Together. Nneka pulled out her laptop. I've been gathering evidence for 9 years, financial records, testimonies from workers on that Surulere building that collapsed, proof he bribed judges. Proof he's been embezzling from his own company. Proof of everything. And her? Adana asked. I have the fishermen who rescued me. They'll testify they heard me say, Obina pushed me. I have medical records from Mama Jeed showing injuries consistent with attempted murder, not accidental fall. I have the timeline proving Ngozi was pregnant before I died, which establishes motive. Nneka's smile was sharp. I have everything I need to put them both in prison. When? Both children asked. Tomorrow. Obina is hosting a charity gala. 500 guests, all of Lagos society, politicians, businessmen, media. Nneka looked at her children. We're going to crash it. We're going to walk in, and I'm going to tell everyone exactly who I am. They'll deny it, Zipporah warned. They'll try. Until I show them this. Nneka pulled up a video file on her laptop. The screen showed younger Nneka, bruised and broken, lying in Mama Jeed's clinic 2 days after the fall, speaking into a borrowed camera. My name is Nneka Ezike. 2 days ago, my husband Obina Ezike pushed me off a cliff in Enugu to kill me and our unborn twins. His mistress Ngozi helped plan it. They wanted to marry each other without the inconvenience of divorce. If you're watching this, it means I died and they got away with it. Or it means I survived and I'm coming for justice. Either way, this is my testimony. This is my truth. And they will pay. The video ended. Adana had tears streaming down her face. You recorded that when you were barely alive? I recorded it in case I didn't survive childbirth. In case something happened to me and you two grew up never knowing what really happened. Nneka closed the laptop. I've been carrying this evidence for 9 years, waiting for the right moment. Tomorrow is the right moment, Zipporah said. Tomorrow, Nneka agreed. I walk into that gala with you two. I wait until everyone is watching. And then I tell them the dead don't always stay buried. The ballroom at the Echo Hotel was spectacular. Crystal chandeliers, designer gowns, Lagos's elite celebrating Obina Ezike's charity work, which was actually just a tax write-off masked as generosity. Nneka stood outside the entrance with Zipporah and Adana, all 3 dressed to kill. She wore red, the color of blood, of rage, of reckoning. Ready? She asked her children. Ready, they answered. They walked in together. The room didn't notice them at first, just 3 more wealthy guests among hundreds. Then people started to whisper. Who is that? The Abuja woman, Kioma Okafor. With children? I didn't know she had children. They look just like... No, that's impossible. Nneka walked straight to the stage where Obina stood, giving a speech about giving back to the community. Ngozi sat at the head table, dripping in diamonds, smiling like a queen. Excuse me, Nneka's voice cut through Obina's speech. I have something to say. Obina looked annoyed until he saw her. Then his expression shifted to confused recognition. Ms. Okafor? This isn't really... My name isn't Kioma Okafor. Nneka stepped onto the stage. That's an identity I purchased 7 years ago because my real name was legally dead. The room went completely silent. My real name is Neka Ezike. 9 years ago, my husband pushed me off a 300-foot cliff to kill me and our unborn twin so he could marry his pregnant mistress without the inconvenience of divorce. Gasps, murmurs. Ngozi stood up, face white. You're insane, Obinna said, but his voice shook. My wife died. Your wife survived. Neka turned to face the crowd. I fell 300 feet, landed in the Udi River, was rescued by fishermen, gave birth to my twins prematurely but alive, and spent 9 years building myself back up so I could return and destroy the people who tried to murder me. This is ridiculous, Ngozi's voice was shrill. Neka Ezike is dead. We mourned her. We buried. We held a funeral. You buried an empty coffin. Neka gestured to her children. These are my twins, Zikora and Adana, 9 years old. The babies your husband tried to kill. Does he look familiar to you? Zikora stepped forward into the light. The room gasped again. He was Obinna's face. Exactly. Undeniably. The same sharp features, the same eyes, impossible to fake. That's not possible, Obinna whispered. DNA doesn't lie. Neka pulled out her phone, connected it to the projection system. Neither does video evidence. The screen behind her lit up with the video from 9 years ago. Broken, bruised Neka, testifying about attempted murder. The room erupted. I have medical records, Neka continued over the chaos. Testimony from the fisherman who rescued me. Timeline proving Ngozi was pregnant before I died, establishing motive. Financial records showing Obinna used my life insurance to expand his business. Evidence of criminal conspiracy to commit murder. You can't prove any of this, Ngozi screamed. I've already proven it, to the police commissioner, to the attorney general, to every media outlet in Nigeria. Neka's smile was cold. They're waiting outside right now, with arrest warrants for both of you. As if on cue, police officers entered the ballroom. Obinna ran. He actually ran, shoving through the crowd toward a back exit. He didn't make it far. Officers tackled him to the ground in front of 500 witnesses and a dozen cameras. Ngozi collapsed into her chair, sobbing. I didn't know, she wailed. I didn't know he would actually kill her. I thought he was joking. I thought... You helped him plan the hiking trip, Neka said coldly. You suggested the trail. You made sure I went. You're as guilty as he is. Officers cuffed Ngozi's hands behind her back, while she screamed and cried and begged. Their 3 children, the ones they'd kept, stood frozen in horror, watching their parents arrested for murder. Neka felt a moment of pity for them. They were innocent in all this, just like her twins had been innocent. What happens now? Zikora asked quietly. Now? Neka watched Obinna and Ngozi being led away in handcuffs. Now they stand trial for attempted murder, conspiracy, fraud, and about 15 other charges. They'll spend the rest of their lives in prison. And us? Adana asked. We live. Neka pulled her children close. We take back everything they stole. The company, the house, the life. We help their children, your half-siblings, understand what happened. And we build something better from the ashes of their crimes. The media swarmed. Mrs. Ezike, how did you survive? Are you pressing charges? What message do you have for other abuse survivors? Neka faced the cameras. My message is simple. To every woman who thinks her abuser is too powerful, too connected, too untouchable, you're wrong. Justice might be slow. It might take years, but it's possible. She looked directly into the lens. I fell 300 feet and survived. I lost everything and rebuilt. I came back from the dead to destroy the people who tried to erase me. If I can do that, you can escape your abuser. You can survive. You can win. What's next for you? A reporter called out. Neka smiled. I'm going home. To my real home. The one I built with my own hands, my own strength, my own refusal to stay dead. She looked at her twins. With my children, the ones who were supposed to die but refused to. We're living, thriving, winning. And your husband's company? It's my company now. 70% ownership, remember? I'm taking control tomorrow. restructuring, making sure no buildings collapse because corners were cut, making sure workers are safe, building something honest. She paused. His legacy dies with his arrest. Mine starts now. The crowd parted as Nneka walked out with her children, leaving chaos behind. Outside, the Lagos night was warm and alive with possibility. "Mama," Adana said quietly, "is it really over? The revenge part? Yes." Nneka looked up at the stars. "The justice part? That's just beginning. But our part, the surviving, the thriving, the living, that never ends." "I'm glad we're alive," Zipporah said. "So am I, baby. So am I." They climbed into the Mercedes. As the driver pulled away from the hotel, Nneka looked back one last time at the building where she'd destroyed the people who tried to destroy her. 9 years ago, Obinna had pushed her off a cliff expecting her to die. Instead, she'd fallen, survived, rebuilt, and risen higher than he'd ever been. Some people stayed buried. Others came back stronger. Nneka Ezike, survivor, mother, warrior, had chosen to rise, and she would never fall again. The end. What would you have done in Nneka's position? Was 9 years of planning worth it? Did Obinna and Ngozi get what they deserved? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this story moved you, inspired you, or made you believe that survivors can win, please like, share, and subscribe to Stories by Tino. Your support helps us bring more powerful African stories to the world. Remember, you are stronger than you know. You can survive anything. You can rebuild. You can win. Until next time, stay strong, stay brave, stay alive.